And welcome back to America Right Now. There is the hearse in Americus, Georgia. That is the Phoebe Sumter Medical Center, and we are awaiting former President Carter's Secret Service detail to begin him on his journey home. That will culminate with a state funeral in Washington later this week. We're going to be keeping an eye on this as Georgia says goodbye to a native son. The memorial service will be held later this afternoon privately for the 39th President of the United States. Before that funeral in Washington later this week, Newsmax correspondent Carolyn Ryan is live in Atlanta outside the Carter Center with what to expect today and over the next few days. Carolyn.
Good morning, Tom. Yes, so the official funeral proceedings for the 39th President of the United States, Jimmy Carter, gets underway here in Georgia today. As you mentioned, in just a few minutes, a motorcade will depart the hospital in southwest Georgia, where the late president is currently being held. The motorcade will then travel through Carter's small hometown of Plains, Georgia. They'll pause briefly at the peanut farm where Carter grew up, and then that motorcade will make the 2.5-hour trip north up here to Atlanta. Now, once that motorcade does arrive here in Atlanta, it will pause at the Georgia State Capitol for a second, sort of a brief moment of silence led by the governor and the lieutenant governor, as well as other elected officials. And then it'll finally make its way here to the Carter Presidential Center. Now, private service will take place here at 4 o'clock this afternoon. And then starting at 7 o'clock tonight, the former president will lie in repose for the next couple of days, tonight through Tuesday morning. And during that time, members of the public are welcome to come and pay their respects. And as we do kind of come back out here live, I want to show you the growing memorial. People have already been out here paying their respects. You can see several folks out here now just laying flowers, notes, taking some pictures, even some people leaving peanuts there, as they have been doing since last Sunday when he passed away at the age of 100. Now, Jimmy and his wife Rosalind founded the Carter Center in 1982 after he lost his second presidential bid in 1980. They founded it as a nonprofit to do humanitarian work, and it's really just been a gathering place for people to pay tribute to the former president the last few days. Now, once the services wrap up here in Georgia, the late president will be flown to D.C., where he will be honored with several more days of services. He will be lying in the state rotunda at the U.S. Capitol until January 9th, and then later that day will be a state funeral at Washington National Cathedral, where President Biden is expected to deliver the eulogy. And Carter will then be brought back here to Georgia to be buried in his hometown of Plains, Georgia, next to his wife, Rosalind Carter, whom he was married to for 77 years. And Rosalind passed away last year, Tom. So about 6 days of tribute to the former president.
All right, Carolyn Ryan at the Carter Center in Atlanta. Thank you very much. If you take a look at the screen here, the Carter Protective Detail of the United States Secret Service. You can see them. You can see the casket there. Those are the gentlemen who have protected the 39th President of the United States up until the moment of his death. They have the honor of escorting his casket now to the hearse in Americus, Georgia, leaving the hospital where his body has been for the last several days. That Secret Service Protective Detail will now put the casket into the hearse, as we're seeing the first leg of this transfer and this state funeral.
Information, truth is freedom, is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.